Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about my new Sportmask Pro X Mask and wrap by SkinFX. So stick around. Hey guys, back with another video. This one is going to be a review of the Sportmask Pro X Mask. I also have kind of a unique cage on here I'll talk about too. I'll get into that later. And I'll just talk about another spectacular wrap that Mark did over at SkinFX, which I've done videos and talked about his wraps before. And I'll just kind of go over this one a little bit too. The reason why I kind of said review in quotes, I feel like it's really hard to give a proper review on a mask. A lot of it just is going to depend on stuff I can't control with the mask, like if I happen to get hit on the mask, how many times I get hit, like situations that occur while wearing the mask. You know, other than if you do some kind of testing in like lab conditions where you're just specifically shooting pucks at the mask and that kind of thing, which I'm not about to do with my own gear, my own mask. It's really hard to do like testing or talk about like, you know, like how good a protection, other than just talk about like how it feels, and talk about like durability, like just based on my own experience, not like, well, if you take a bunch of shots, is something going to happen? I don't know. There's really no way for me to say that. So I'm just going to talk about my experience using it, which I'll be upfront and say I haven't taken like a lot of shots directly to the head with this. I've got like a few kind of glancing shots on it. I distinctly remember like one that was like right to the cage, but for the most part, I haven't been getting like hit a lot in the head with this. So, you know, for what it is, it's done great as far as that. But you know, there's not a whole lot I can speak to it as far as that. I mean, I can tell you this is a pro level mask from Sportmask. So I don't expect that anyone would have any issues with protection with it. You know, pretty much, I mean, there's not any like company or mask I can think off the top of my head where I'm like, oh yeah, they're terrible. Like if you get a pro level mask from a reputable company, it should be good, okay? Really then what it's gonna come down to is what mask like model and shape works best for your head. And so with this one, the reason why I decided to go with this Sportmask X mask, it kind of was just like a lucky thing where it was sort of the only thing available when I was looking for a mask that I could find in my size, based on certain criteria that I was looking for. But it happened to work out great because this mask fits me really good. I really like the way it feels when I'm playing with it. So I ended up ordering this from the Gold Crease. So shout out to the Gold Crease TGC Rants for the help with this. And I actually reached out to a couple different people. And like I was saying, a lot of people just didn't have inventory in stock. And the thing was, I didn't want to wait for like a custom build, like an Otney build, which is what I have. My main mask before this has been an Otney. I still have it. I'll also do some comparisons in a little bit too. But so originally I was kind of looking to get another Otney because I've had no issues with that. I like that one. The thing with that though is goalie parts, where I usually get most of my mask stuff from. So the hat is from. That's where I got this cage from actually. They didn't have anything in stock, and it was going to have to be made custom. Now, when they say made custom, it's not that they like mold your head or anything like that. It just means it's made to order basically. So you tell them what size you want, colors, whatever, and they make it to order. The only thing is I specifically wanted this, and you can see by the theme of the wrap, I wanted this to use in an upcoming tournament I'm going to play in with my FSU, Florida State University alumni team that I play on, because I played there when I went there, and I currently do skates and do tournaments or whatever with my alumni group. And we got a tournament coming up against other alumni teams. And I've always just used like whatever my pads are at the time, which has always been like Panthers color stuff, whatever. But kind of in the back of my mind, I've always wanted to do an FSU set. If you look back, my last video, I think it was on the Bauer Hyperlight 2 set I have I made for the FSU alumni team. And so I was looking for a mask and wrap to go with it as well. And so I didn't want to risk ordering custom and kind of be up in the air when the mask was going to get to me. I wanted to kind of get it over with and get it in and get it done with plenty of time for my tournament. You don't have to be worrying about that. So I was really looking for something somebody had in stock. So the Gold Crease had this in stock, and the size was right and everything. One thing that did kind of appeal to me is it's sort of, if you look at the shape, it's sort of similar to like a Bauer 960 shape, a classic design, sort of Sportmask take on that classic design, which I have a Bauer 960. It's this one. This has kind of been a backup mask of mine, if you will. Again, another beautiful wrap by Mark at Skin FX. So it's a very similar design. So I kind of knew that design and shape worked for me. The only thing I will say is with this, the actual Bauer 960, it fits me pretty well around my face, but the depth of it isn't that great. So the fit is okay, but it could be better. With this has a little more depth to the mask, and I feel like I get a little more coverage around my head, and it's just an overall a little bit better fit than the Bauer 960. Excuse me. So, like I said, between the fact that this was kind of my only option, and I did kind of like the way it was shaped and everything too. Oh, and another thing that I was really looking for in the mask, and another reason why I wanted to try to go with Otni at first, is with so this is my Otni Deco eye mask. That's been my main mask for a while now. As you can see, the inside is made using this Anegra material. So I was really hoping to get something that uses that, because that Otni mask has held up phenomenally. Other than some superficial damage to the wrap that wasn't even from a puck or anything. That was like from, I don't know, a stick or hitting, kind of rubbing against one of the crossbars or something. The mask is in perfect shape, and I've had that for a while now. So I really loved how much that held up. So I was looking, not that you can't get masks that aren't good, that aren't made with Anegra, but just the great experience I've had with that, I wanted to try to stick with something made with Anegra too. And so this is made with that same material. You can see the same pattern in there. So that was another thing that appealed to me about this. So I went ahead and ordered it. So yeah, like when I got it in, I tried it on, it fit really good. I was happy with it. The only thing with the kind of a difference, even though it's a kind of a similar shape to the Bauer 960, and like I said, it has a little more depth to it. Also, the chin on this is a little shorter than this one. And it's definitely shorter than the chin on my Otni. The Otni chin is the longest out of my 3 masks. And I did find, like I said, overall, I love that Otni mask, but I did find there's been a few times here and there where that chin can kind of get a little bit caught up with my chest protector, especially like in a crouch and the chest protector comes up a little bit just because of how long it is. So like, yeah, it's great coverage with that chin. Like your neck is really covered with that mask, but I do feel like it's a little overkill for me with that Otni. And I do think that this shorter chin actually works better for me. So when I've been using this, I feel like my vision, like my head mobility, like it never gets caught in anything. I have really good being able to turn my head and all that kind of stuff. So I do like the shorter chin on this. So the other thing I want to talk about too with this is this cage. It came with a standard stainless steel cage. The traditional sport mask with this thick center bar had it on the one it came with too, but the stainless steel didn't go with this look. I wanted a gold cage. So that, like I said, I did get from Goldie Parts. So the thing about this cage is it's a long cage, open mouth is what it's called. And apparently, as far as I know, at least the last time I checked with Goldie Parts when I was talking to them, so Sportmask is kind of experimenting with this cage, and I don't know that it's really like out in retail available that much right now. I was just going to look for the same like traditional Sportmask cage like you see here. You can see the difference in the opening at the bottom. And Chuck at Goalie Parts was like, hey, I got this new style cage in. Would you be interested in trying it? So I was like, yeah, sure. It looks interesting. I'm going to give it a try. So the whole idea is that you have better vision when you're looking down. If the puck drops right underneath you, these openings down here allow better vision down there. So yeah, I was like, yeah, cool, I'll try it. But he did say that like as of now, or at least when I talked to him, he wasn't sure if Sportmask was going to keep making them. They had given him a few to try and see how it worked, but it wasn't like something where he had orders coming in and he knew for a fact they were going to keep making them. So to be honest, I don't know if Sportmask is going to keep making this cage or what's going to happen with it, but it's what I got to try out. And I did find that the whole better vision thing is true. I do feel like I get better vision with these openings, especially looking down. And even like, I don't know, in general, I kind of feel like my vision is really good with this mask and cage. And again, like I said, I mean, I did take a shot right to the cage, no issues, no bending, nothing. But I had confidence in the Sportmask cage anyway. I've been using Sportmask cages with my Otney because it's what fits on it for a while. So like all that's been good. Like I said, all I can say is, as far as protection wise, is that I've had no issues at all whatsoever with it, with the protection. You know, and another thing to talk about is the weight on this. This is the lightest mask out of the three I have. I kind of thought it was going to be maybe roughly about the same as my Otney, because it's, I don't know, made out of the same material and whatnot, but it actually is lighter. And to be honest, this Otney mask is kind of on the heavy side in general, but masks, when they're on your head, you don't really notice it when it's on you. Like you notice it just holding it like this. Yeah. Once it's on you, out of the three masks I have, I don't really notice a huge difference, but it's just something some people are interested in, something to say that yes, this is a fairly light mask. So I guess that's another plus. So I guess let's talk about the wrap job by Market Skin FX. I've been using him to wrap my mask for a while now. I used to get my mask painted a long time ago, but I just found it wasn't worth it for me. Like the masks would chip pretty easily early on. And before you say, well, maybe the painter didn't do it right. I mean, I had it done by legit mask painters, guys that have done professional goalie masks. So, I mean, if you want to say they didn't know what they're doing, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but yeah, like I just felt like it wasn't for what I paid. And I'm not saying they charge too much, like it's what it costs to get it painted, but for what it costs to get a painted mask, for a beer league guy like me, I just don't feel like it's worth it. Just because it doesn't last, it starts shipping. And once you get that first ship in there, it's just gonna get worse and worse and it starts looking like crap. And I've just had a really good experience with the wraps. You know, like I said, this is probably the wrap I've had on for the longest of any mask. And yeah, there's a few little things that have happened, like I said, like stick blades or rubbing against the posts or crossbar. But in general, it still looks really good. I mean, a few puck marks, but the integrity of it, it's not chipping or whatever. And the integrity of the mask is really good. So I love the way the wraps look. I love the way they hold up. You know, yeah, there's certain crazy things that maybe you can do with paint that you can't do with a wrap. But in general, I've been able to accomplish the look I wanted on all my goalie masks with the wrap. So I've been very happy with that. And Mark is probably, I would say, the best. Mark of Skin FX is the best at doing this. I mean, he does wraps for pros and national team goalies, all kinds of stuff. Like, he's really good. I've been very happy with every wrap he's done for me. And this one might be the best looking wrap he's done. So again, the theme, as you can tell, is FSU, Florida State University. If you're not familiar with them, I don't know, maybe you can Google them. You can kind of see like where I'm getting some of this stuff from. So I like to keep my mask fairly simple. Like you can see from the Panthers one, it's, you know, the color goes from red to navy. And then other than that though, it's just like the Panthers classic secondary logo on either side. Very simple, but I just love how clean it looks. And I think it looks really good. The Bauer 960 is a little busier, I guess, but it's still a pretty singular design. I mean, it's basically the newer Panthers logo, kind of their take on the Florida State flag with the sun secondary logo. This logo appears on their jersey as well, I think on the shoulder. So this is a little busier, but it's still fairly straightforward. So that's just what I like on my mask. So my idea was I wanted to do like a spear thing, is one of the classic logos. It's not the main logo for FSU, but they have a spear, not exactly the spear, a little different spear on their football helmets. And it is one of their logos they use. I also always like this, I guess you'd call it like a Kachina pattern. They have it on their football jerseys, like around the collar, I think around the sleeves. And I've seen it before in other things too. So just kind of wanted to have that going across here, and you know, the spear up top, keep it pretty clean. And then, you know, at first I really didn't have an idea for the chin, but then at one point I was just kind of looking at some of their logos and stuff. And again, one of their logos is FSU they have a certain font. I don't know what the font is called, but and they have it kind of going down like that, but FSU. And I'm thinking, Lou, I mean, I go by different things. My full name, Louis. Some people call me Louis, some people call me Lou, whatever. But Lou works 3 letters like FSU, and I can do it in that font. So, and kind of in the same like direction that the FSU logo goes. So I decided to put that on the chin. And then a real last minute addition to it that I decided to do is once Mark already had the mask and was pretty much the design was set, he was kind of like, oh, you sure you want to put anything on the back plate? You know, with the Otney Panthers mask, I don't have anything on the back plate. I do with the Bauer mask. A lot of times I don't put anything on it just because I feel like that's usually something you put something personal on there. And I don't know, there's just not a whole lot personal in general that I feel like putting on masks. However, unfortunately, had something not great happen to me and my family this past year. My father unfortunately had brain cancer. The official term is glioblastoma. So he got diagnosed with that last June, and we have been dealing with that. And unfortunately, he passed in October. So it's been a pretty difficult time for me and my family. And so when Mark kind of last minute asked me, you sure you want to put anything on the back plate? I kind of had this thought to put, so this is a brain cancer support ribbon, and to put my dad's initials on it. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on it. Anyway, the initials are LFM for Luis Fernando Molina. He has the same first and last name as me, just different middle name. So I felt like that was a cool little tribute for my dad. So yeah, so that's kind of the design process behind the wrap. And then like I already kind of went through, I ordered the gold cage through Goalie Parts. And I just think altogether, this thing looks really sick. It goes great with the whole FSU look of my FSU set. Another thing to talk about real quick, I guess, is the padding on the inside. So with the Bauer I have, it's kind of more of the traditional foam. With the Otney I have, this is specifically the Eco Foam that Goalie Parts sells. This was not called Eco Foam because it's the foam that comes on this from Sportmask, but just kind of feeling it, it has almost like that gel-like squishiness that the Eco Foam does. So I don't know if it's the case that it is basically the same Eco Foam but because it's a different company, they don't call it Eco Foam, or if it is a different one. Either way though, it's a very comfortable foam. The foam on this and my Otney is really comfortable. I love the foams on both of these. You know, the foam on my Bauer isn't bad, but it's just more of that traditional kind of foam. This came with a chin cup because again, this was something I just got stock. If I was ordering like a custom, I would have ordered it right off the bat with a chin sling because that's what I use. But I had an extra chin sling lying around, so I replaced the chin cup with a sling. Just what I like better. If you like a cup, you know, hey, use the cup. Trying to think if there's really anything else to talk about. No, like I said, I'm just very happy with this. The only other thing I will say about this is looking at Sportmask's website currently, they no longer have this specific Sportmask Pro X mask on there. So I think they're like kind of changing up the models and stuff. They have some new models on there, names, numbers, whatever. Now, they probably have something that's new that's very similar to this. I don't know why they would just completely go away from this, as this wasn't even that old to begin with. This came out several years ago. They have one, what was it called? It's like the V5X or something. Has an X in the name. So I'm thinking maybe that's the similar one to this, if you want to go with whatever, something they have currently. That being said though, a lot of stores still are selling the Pro X mask. So it is something you can still buy, you can still find. And especially if this is something that they kind of discontinued the specific thing and like changed up, you know, like the same thing with pads and other thing. They go from Hyperlight 1 to Hyperlight 2, from Vaughn V9 to V10, whatever. Kind of like what happened with this. So, you know, you could be on the lookout. Maybe this is going to be on clearance in some places because they want to get rid of the old stock and get the newest stuff in. But either way, it's still out there. You can still find this mask for sale on places, whatever, which is why I also still wanted to do this video, just to get the information out if anyone was interested in it. trying to think, maybe I'll talk about a little bit more about the fit. Like I said, it's a good fit. And like I said too, when you're buying stock masks, you know, any stock mask is probably not going to fit you perfectly like a mold, like a custom mold would, obviously, when a custom molded mask is made to your face. But you just want to try to get the best you can. And in general, like all the masks I have currently fit me pretty good. Like I said, with the Bauer, I just felt like I needed a little more depth to it. With the Otni, I feel like it's almost a little overkill, especially at the chin. And this is kind of like a perfect middle ground between the two, where it's got that side depth that I prefer. The chin isn't as big and doesn't get caught or anything. And like I said before, you know, it's light. The sight lines are really good in it. So I really love this mask. I have no issues with it. It hugs my face pretty good up in the front. I have more of, you would say like an elongated, long, thinner face. So if you have like a more rounded, thicker face, this may not be the model for you. Sportmask, Otni, Bauer, they make different models based on what type of head you have. So if you have a more rounded head, you would look for something that's made for that. But if this is kind of the shape you're looking for, I highly recommend this mask. Again, like I said, especially if you can find it maybe on clearance and maybe on sale, people try and get rid of it since it's, you know, considered old stock now. But this is a really great mask from Sportmask. Very happy with it. And you know, maybe keep an eye out for this cage too. Like I said, I really like it. The only thing is, I don't know if it's really available for the general public right now, but you can always check with Goalie Parts. That's where I got it. See if they still have some left. I think he said he only had like 5 when he sold this one to me. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video on the Sportmask Pro X, and I'll see you in the next one.